Hi everyone and welcome back. I hope you all have been looking forward to this episode where I'm going to debrief you on the life-threatening side effects that I had to experience during this journey, and also some of the counter strategies that I had to put in place to kind of help my body and help my emotion and my brain power during this journey. So initially when I was injected with Lupron and exemestane drug, when I started taking the pill every day and I would go monthly for my Lupron injection. So as soon as I started taking that medication, what then happened is I was induced into secondary menopause. So I was going to experience some of the menopausal side effects. However, at the beginning of the process, I didn't feel any of them. I did start slightly to feel a bit of hot flashes here and there, which was not intense and nothing that I worried about at that time. And then come October, as I told you, my side effects intensified in that month. Oh my goodness, the menopausal pot was so full. So what happened in that pot, there were so many other side effects that come with it. The other side effects that I experienced apart from hot flashes, insomnia. I could not sleep. I remember vividly there was a week where I could not sleep for 1 week. It was intense. I could not even lie down. With that happening, it led to fatigue. So I was severely fatigued. And with that fatigue also came sweating at night, intense sweating at night. I had my pot full with these menopausal side effects. I was not prepared for it. Transcending from a point where I had been taking my drug to this point was traumatizing for me at that time because I was not prepared for it. So the transition from one process to the other was so intense. I felt like everything just happened all of a sudden. With that happening, it didn't stop there. I had other side effects that kicked in. So the next one was induced high blood pressure. So guess what? My blood pressure was so high. In my entire life, I've had like 3 pregnancies successfully with no blood pressure. But this time, I had my blood pressure ranging from 150 to 155/90 instead of the normal range of 120/75. So there was ranging in the hundreds and 50s. So it would be one day it's on 155/90, the next day is probably 154. So it ranged between 150 to 155. And now I was going on a daily basis at the nearest clinic to just get checked. And this resulted in me having like migraine headaches that were non-stop. And with that, I knew something was definitely not right, that my blood pressure, and I knew this drug was actually taking me to the grave if I didn't take action. And it wasn't only that side, only those 2 side effects. I also had induced diabetes. So normally with diabetes, your normal glucose levels would range from 3.9 to 6.1. And mine was now on 7.4, which means I had already induced diabetes. And that's another thing added onto my profile of chronic diseases. Followed by the next one, which was my cholesterol, my LDL level, which is something that has been of concern. I've been working on it even prior to having cancer with my medical practitioner. My LDL level was already high, but nothing too drastic to worry too much about. It's something that I was managing using my diet. Instead of the normal range of 0 to 3.37, mine was now on 5.7. Can you imagine that shoot? It was so high, and it was devastating to be in that place at that moment. If it only was only those 4, I had another 5th one, which was also life-threatening. And this was the bones, the big bones and the small joints. So with the big bones, I literally could not lift my body. Like if I sat down, it was very difficult for me to stand up. If I lied on my bed, it was hard for me to lift my body up without asking for help. So this was terrible. Then my small joints, I already had induced arthritis. My finger joints were sore in the mornings, terribly sore. And even during the day, I would have to keep like moving them, trying to exercise them so regularly to make sure that I regulate the circulation inside my small fingers. But it didn't help anything. So I booked for a meeting with my doctors to go in and say, guys, let's look at this. This is definitely not working. And I know that you are recommending that you want to move me from this drug, which is exemestane, to tamoxifen, which you feel is less harsh for the body. But I've read about the side effects of tamoxifen. They are equally the same as far as I can see, because most of the side effects that I'm already having, I have noticed they also come with tamoxifen. And I feel we need to look at other ways, maybe Chinese traditional medicine or something that can help me. However, looking at my liver function at that point in time, my liver function was compromised because of this drug as well. So the doctor ruled out the Chinese medicine and said, this you can't take, Miranda, because of the toxicity levels. You take herbal medicine in this state, your liver is going to even be more compromised. So we can't go that route, but we can give you another drug. So with his persistence, this is my surgeon speaking. And then I also had my oncologist, who's a lady, and she was also supporting him and trying to convince me to take the drug. So because I didn't want to engage into an argument, what I then did was to accept the drug. And on that same day, they even prescribed me statin, because statin is one of the drugs that's used for cholesterol, because they felt it was too high. And at that point in time, I was at high risk of a cardiac arrest during sleep, or even when I'm just sitting, and just have a cardiac arrest and I go. So that was something that was also worrying them. So they prescribed statin for me. And I knew statin also came with a package of side effects. So I was not interested in any of the prescribed drugs anymore. My mind was made up at that time. However, I didn't want to engage into an argument with my doctor. So what I did is I took the drugs, went home and shelved them in my medical box. And then I continued on my journey. And I had to make sure that now I zoom into the therapies that I had been looking into previously. And I had been working coherently with my other therapists who are local here, but who are running different institutions that also help to help people with chronic diseases heal themselves naturally. So I was now intensifying that route. I made a plan that if I was not going to have the surgery soon, it was best for me to make sure that I prepare my body for the surgery. By preparing my body, I needed to detox my body. So the first part of my process was looking at making sure that my body is ready before even going to the emotional part of myself. So the first stage was looking at my body. The first step that I took was to detox my gut. And I detoxed my gut using the anti-oestrogenetic book, where they have a diet plan in there which helps you to detox your body. So I went into that diet and made sure I followed it through and through. This is a month detox plan. So I followed it religiously and made sure I had to stick to the principles and the guidelines provided in that book. Once I was done with that, I also knew my organs had been compromised, the liver. However, I could not run 2 detox programs at the same time because my body was already too stressed with so many drugs. I needed to give it a break. So I staggered the process. I then moved on to the detox of the liver and the pancreas and my other organs like the kidney. And this process, I was guided by the medical medium, Cleanse the Liver. It has amazing recommendations and things that have helped a lot of people cleanse their own liver without using any medication. So I followed that plan as well, just to help cleanse my liver. And once I was done with the cleansing of the liver, this is December now when I was cleansing my liver, If you're with me during December, you would not know that I'm going through a detox plan because it's just a diet plan that you follow. Then once I was done with my detox, I felt like my body was bouncing back as I could sense some of the side effects were kind of easing off, especially my big bones, because now I found it was getting easier for me to stand up, walk without any help from anyone or any support. So when I saw that happening, I knew that I was doing the right things. And after I finished that process of detox, I knew my immune system needed to be boosted because a detox gets rid of all the toxins, the metals, it takes pathogens that are stuck in my gut. I wanted to get rid of all the pathogens, all the metals, and the entire fog that had clogged my brain because of this drug. So I made sure that those were the first things that I worked on. Then now it was January, and January is the month where provisionally when we met in my for the meeting end of October, the doctors provisionally booked me for January the 20th as my date for surgery. So because of COVID, that date was later moved. However, that worked as a blessing in disguise because I felt like I had ample time for me to actually do a lot more. So I thought I needed to travel in January because we had a Chinese New Year break at that time, and I would just ask for a few more days so that I make sure that I go and see other therapists who could help me in this process. So during my travel, the first point of call was to make sure that I had my herbal medicine outlined clearly with measured toxicity. Because the thing is with herbal medicine, if you take it in high doses, it's also not good for the liver. So you need to go to reputable places where you actually get good prescription with the right amount and dosage that is appropriate for your body function, with blood tests done and the entire process done to make sure that it matches your blood type as well. So with that in mind, I went and I got herbal teas like dandelion tea, passion tea, and also cat gloves and cinnamon, and all those kind of herbal teas. They are also very crucial when you have any of these chronic diseases. They kind of help the body to heal because it's tea, it's refreshing, and also at the same time it's therapeutic. I had my whole bag full of different teas that would sustain me throughout the year. That's why I needed to travel and make sure that I go to reputable places to get all this stuff. Not just buying over the shelf in any kind of supermarket, but I had to go into a proper cancer therapy place where they actually specialize in helping people with the same condition as me. I got like some herbal medicine, like the dandelion root, the root itself, which actually helps. And I would put that like in my porridge when I'm eating my porridge in the morning. That is also key. It's something that I would either take as a tea or I would take it in form of a powder. And to boost up my stocks on that, I also looked at another element of healing, which is oils. These are called essential oils, which are very common and most people use them for different reasons. For me, I needed specific essential oils that are helpful when someone is going through a chronic condition like cancer. So I had to make sure that I had turmeric, sage, thyme, frankincense, myrrh, and a lot more other essential oils. I have a whole kit, lemongrass, you name it, lavenders. I have that. That was also a way of making sure that my lifestyle changes in my household, where instead of using chemical soaps, washing detergents, I now can drop in some of these essential oils and make my own stuff to actually help detox and just clean for the cleanliness of the home. Also use it as an antibiotic because my children, I don't give them antibiotics. If anyone is having a fever or experiencing anything, I have specific essential oils that I use, put them in the diffuser. The next morning, all the symptoms are gone. My children won't go through a period where they go through a cold or just unnecessary bacterial or viral infections. This has also helped us through also during this COVID-19 period of time. So essential oils have also played a very important role and a very important part. And without missing out, one of the most therapies that I felt also played a crucial role, which is the vitamin C IV therapy, which is where you get high doses of vitamin C fused into your body using the IV. I did this for a week just to make sure, because remember, vitamin C is an antioxidant and it gets rid of all the pathogens that are invading your body, and it's a good immune booster. So I had to do that because this is the period of January where I was saying I need to boost my immunity. Thankfully, all those things helped me, because even when I went in for my blood check, now when it was closer to the time when I was doing my pre-surgery, when I went in for my blood check, my doctors were amazed. They asked me, have you been taking the tamoxifen? Because tamoxifen seems to have worked well for you. Your liver function is perfect. Your kidney function is good. Your pancreas, everything seems to be in the right place, and your blood pressure is gone. Your cholesterol level has gone down. And at this point, it had gone from 5.7. Now it was on 4.3, which was also a good and a significant drop, So I felt I was on the right path, and I was happy that I actually took charge of my own health and took control of the situation and never waited or procrastinating upon it. And this journey has taught me a lot. Okay, so this was just to heal my body, but I am a human being. I have the emotional part of me, which plays a pivotal role in my healing process, because thoughts and emotions, if they are not in the right place, you're just wasting your time. Healing won't happen. It takes forever. So I looked again into my emotion and just my brain power things, and looked at the tools that would actually sustain me to make sure that I'm ready for my surgery. So now I looked at the Radical Remission again, which is a book that I keep close to me all the time. I looked at some of the factors. I didn't go through all of them, because some of the factors that are in the Radical Remission, I felt like they resonated well with me, because I had already embarked on a decluttering journey prior. And while it's doing that process, I had actually addressed some of the factors in the Radical Remission. Was the spiritual connection. I felt this is a part of me that I have to constantly revisit all the time. I need to be constantly revisiting my spiritual connection with my divine source and making sure that I am in the right place. And I do this by prayer, meditation, self-talk, morning affirmations. Before I start my day, I do an affirmation and I make certain declarations. And in most cases, everything that I declare comes to fruition, which is something that I'm just amazed about. And then that's part of the emotion, making sure that my emotions are well taken care of. And also, I looked at one of the factors, which is having strong reasons to live. And with this one, I was guided by meditation by Dr. Dispenza. Okay, the second one that I looked into was releasing suppressed emotions. Releasing suppressed emotion is when you go through a process of re-looking at all the traumatic events that could have happened from your childhood right into your adulthood. Some of the things that you feel like, you know what, I've swept them under the carpet, they're over. But your subconscious memory carries them forever. I felt I needed to make sure I address them. Because when you then face a life-threatening situation like mine, believe me, I started seeing some of the things that happened as young as I was 4 years old, and some of the things that happened even in my later life. And I felt these things needed me to actually sort out. If it was a situation where somebody had said things that were hurtful to me, or it could have been a situation or creating a wrong environment for me, for my growth and my personal development, I made sure that I spoke to those relevant people and I addressed the issues and I aired how it made me feel. And at that process, it helped me have closure, because then people then apologize and explain fully, and that gives you that satisfaction that you need. And also, I moved on to the next part, which is making sure that having strong reasons to live. And having strong reasons to live is something that I also stood guided by Dr. Dispenza's meditation. So what I had to do is I created a picture, because I know that every human being in our subconscious is like our survival mode. Like when you're scared, the hormones of fear take control and they help you to start thinking, oh, I need to run away. So I realized that I had so much in my subconscious memory that I needed to clean off. And I needed to have new reasons to live. I needed to make sure that I create new habits and start living in the present moment using my conscious mind. So, that being the case, I had to create a picture. And this picture is the picture that I carry with me every day. It's my reason to live, to see all my grandchildren surrounding me, from all my children. So this is a picture that I always visualize. And when I'm doing my affirmations, when I get to that level of meditation, when I surrender to the power and I start actually seeing it and I live in that moment. And I believe that these are some of the things that are helping me heal, because I have very strong reasons to live, to see my children grow, to see my grandchildren grow. That's one of the biggest reasons for me to live. And that being the case, I hope you are taking away a few notes or taking away a few hints from this video that can actually help someone who's going through a similar process. Not the medical, but when it comes to emotional, spiritual being, because human beings are spiritual beings. That's why we are so complex. We are spiritual. We need to make sure that spiritual needs are also catered for. You need to make sure that you address all your human being, your emotions, your spirituality. Look at all the factors that are important in your life. Revisit them. No matter how scary they look, just take time, reflect upon them, and make changes. It's never too late to make changes. I have made significant changes in my life. And in the next video, I'm going to be sharing with you my surgery and the treatment options that were provided for me after my surgery. I'll be sharing with you my pictures whilst I was having surgery. I'll be sharing with you a lot of information. I'll be also sharing with you the therapy that my doctors recommended for me and what therapy I opted for instead. So I hope you found it very informational and beneficial. So I thank you for watching. I look forward to interacting with you in the next video. And with this video, I say goodbye and see you next time.